Hello, this is Jochen, coach of the San Francisco Cinderace, and today I'll be doing my Week 6 battle against the Golden State Garchomps. Now, in my team builder, I said I figured he was bringing most of these. I said the Vikavolt slot would have either been the Cloyster, Machamp, or Vikavolt, but I thought Corsola would be here instead of Mr. Rhyme. Honestly, I'm happier Mr. Rhyme is here. Corsola gave my team some problems, and I have a lot of good ways to deal with Mr. Rhyme, so glad to see it's not here. Let's get right into the battle. So I'm going to lead Manectric. I didn't feel like there was anything other than the Weavile that scared it. He goes out into Vikavolt, and my reasoning was Overheat's good. Only thing that stops it is Flash Fire, Centiskorch. If he was Scarf, or Focus Sash, not Scarf. If he was Focus Sash and got Webs up, it wasn't that bad because I would Overheat, switch out into Cinderace immediately and change it. So I felt Overheat was the safest. He's not Scarfed. So sashed, I want to call it Scarf. Not Focus Sashed. He ends up dying to an Overheat. But immediately after, the Weavile is going to come in. Now, unless the Weavile is Choice Band, I don't believe it kills me, but I want to keep my Manectric healthy because it still one-shots the Toxapex. If it's not specially defensive, does good work against the Mr. Rhyme. So I want to keep it nice and healthy. So we're going to switch out into the Cinderace, see what he wants to do. And he goes for Fake Out. So that's probably best case scenario, because that means I don't take too much damage. If he went for a Throat Chop, I think that would probably do like 60 to 75%. And he's not going to want to stay in against Cinderace. He doesn't want to risk me being Scarfed, but I do see its Life Orb. So good to know it's not Choice Band. Manectric might have lived, but I didn't want to risk it. So we're just going to U-turn here. I have a feeling he either goes into Centiskorch to try and get Flash Fire off, or in a Toxapex to just wall me. So either way, I don't want to stay in, so we're going to U-turn out. And when I see it's Toxapex, I want to go into Manectric. Now, I Volt Switch because I figure if he's not specially defensive, he dies. So the fact that he lives with 20 tells me he is a specially defensive Toxapex, which is good information to know. But at the same time, it would have been nice to kill this thing outright. So here, we're going to go out into Sigilif. My reasoning being, Scald doesn't do much, Sledge Bomb doesn't do much. If he statuses me somehow, I have Magic Guard this week, so I won't take any damage, and he goes for Toxic. So, best case scenario, I don't take any Toxic damage because of Magic Guard, and Weavile was a pretty obvious switch, avoid the Psychic, so I go for the Heat Wave. I end up getting the kill. The big thing there, again, Centiskorch with Flash Fire would have been risky, but I don't think he was expecting me to carry Heat Wave. So the Greedent comes in next, which is interesting. It makes me think he's got Crunch or something like that, and I want to see what he's got, because with Sigilif picking up a kill on the Weavile, it's done its job. I don't need it. It's nice to kill the Toxapex, but I still have Manectric, so I can let it go down here. I want to Air Slash, and 46% is just about perfect. We don't put it in berry range, so that it doesn't get its health back, and I want to see what he goes for here, which he ends up Belly Drumming. Not the end of the world. The Cheek Pouch fills him up pretty nice, back to 62%. And see, my Air Slash did 46. I'm carrying Psychic, which is 15 base power stronger. So I'm hoping that 15 base power is just enough to pick up the kill. We're going to go for the Psychic, and he lives at 4%. So I'm pretty much dead to anything. He goes for the Fire Fang. But with Greedent's speed being as low as it is, just about everything on my team, even the Grimmsnarl, outspeeds. So I'm going to go Cinderace and just U-turn out in case he tries to save it for whatever reason. He does not, so we get the kill on Cinderace, and we pivot out into Grimmsnarl. Now, Grimmsnarl is a sweeping set. Substitute Bulk Up with Lumberry. It was mainly here to deal with Corsola, which isn't there. So I went Grimmsnarl there because I figured Centiskorch was most likely to come out, and we just both G-Max and go at each other, but he ends up going Toxapex. So I want to try and get set up here, see what he wants to do. So I'm going to Substitute. And he recovers, so we basically burn a turn. I feel like I come out a little ahead because I can start bulking up now. So we get 1 off, takes damage for me. We get 2 off, takes damage for me again because he scalds again. Now here is probably my big mistake of the match. I bulk up a 3rd time, and he's carrying Haze, which isn't unexpected. I was hoping he wasn't and he had Sludge Bomb or Ice Beam, but Haze makes sense. So the reason that's a big mistake, I know this is a specially defensive set because of how much Manectric did. So with that information and it being just about where it is, I would have been able to one-shot it with G-Max Dark, and if not, I still pick up the kill even with my stats being erased. So I should have just G-Maxed and gone for G-Max Snooze there. It probably kills. If it doesn't, it has to switch out, and it comes back in at like 40% health. So I probably could have just swept through the game if I just kept my 2 stat boosts rather than getting greedy for a third. But with that out of the way, in the moment I forgot that he does not have a poison move, so I just switch out into Manectric. Now, it takes the Scald, does not get burned, very nice. We Volt Switch again, because I figured he might swap, trying to preserve it. He doesn't. We get it down to 10%, so I got into Cincino. He Scalds again, I'm hoping for no burn. He ends up getting the burn though. So here, we just want to Tail Slap, try and kill it, but he goes out into Mr. Rhyme, a safe play. We get some good chip, we get about 25. And we're gonna go for a Rock Blast, but we ended up missing. I honestly don't know if it would have killed with the burn, but it would have done a lot, and I probably would have 2-hit him. So, I go for a Rock Blast again, the Toxapex comes in. He's trying to stall out my life because of the burn damage. Not a bad idea. And we're gonna go for Tail Slap. I have King's Rock, which gives you a 10% chance to flinch, so it works out to be like 40-ish%, but I don't end up getting it, and he gets to recover off, so not great, honestly, but I felt it was my best play. So back into Manectric, because it's 70%, a Volt Switch kills for sure. So I go for a Thunderbolt this time, mix it up on him, and we get the Mr. Rhyme down to 15 and Paralyzed. Now, I don't think the paralysis mattered unless he was Choice Scarf, which I don't expect him to be, but it's nice either way, just in case. And I just Thunderbolt again to pick up the kill. Centiskorch comes out, and he hasn't G-Max, so I need to switch out. I need to preserve Manectric. It's my best way to deal with Toxapex, so I need to keep it around. So Cinderace needs to come in and just buy me time. So it takes a G-Max Centiferno, lives with 8%, which is very good. We burn 2 turns. I get a little bit of chip with the high jump kick, and he goes for Max Lightning. So here Grimmsnarl comes in and just Max Guards so that I can burn his last turn of G-Max. And he's going to go for a G-Max Bug. But now we have the advantage. We still have 2 turns of G-Max, so I'm going to Max Snooze, and I get them down to 2. It would have been very nice to get the kill there, because I could have hit the Toxapex with a Max Darkness on my next turn. But it's not the end of the world. So we Max Dark here, and we get it down to half. This is why it would have been nice to just get into the Toxapex straight away. I probably could have 2-shot it if I had the extra turn, but I'm going to go back into Manectric, because with how low we got the Centiskorch, and how the Toxapex is looking right now, just a Thunderbolt kills it. Just Choice Specs Thunderbolt wins me the game here, so that's what I do. I click Choice Specs Thunderbolt, we pick up the first kill, the Toxapex comes back in with Regenerator, back up to 88, and the Thunderbolt's going to pick up the kill. So, we get the win, 3-0, not very clean. Like I said, too greedy with Grimmsnarl, unlucky with the Cincino burn, but Manectric picks up 4 kills, definitely the MVP this week. Picked up kills on, what was it? The Vigavolt, Mr. Rhyme, Centiskorch, and Toxapex all on his own. So he really carried the game for me this week. Grimmsnarl was supposed to sweep, like I said, I just misplayed it. So overall, not a bad game. I made a few mistakes, but good game to my opponent. My Week 7 match coming up is against the Huntsville Haunters. Should be similar, a close game, but one I should win if I play correctly and don't get too unlucky. So I'm looking forward to that one coming up, and thank you for watching.